In this video, the temperature is rising and we take some time out at a tranquil bit of France where we spend our first 2-night park up. Stu tries out his new homemade side awning and air circulation fans to help in the high temperatures. But do they work? And in the middle of the night, we get disturbed.
Oh, there's another... Oh, let me put the lights on.
Welcome to the channel. That's Harry, our campervan, and that's me, Jane, and here's Stu. And we love to share with you our van life adventures. Right, it's time for us to explore Douai city, and we're parked about a 20-minute walk from the centre and we're off on a circular walk. This is the Arras Gate and was part of the old ramparts of the city.
I've really noticed when I talk about the floral displays how well made their choices are.
And there's 2 round sandstone towers flanking the entrance passage. It dates back to the beginning of the 14th century.
So we're just having a walk around Douai. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so apologies. The mist has just burnt off. The sun's just about to come out. It's supposed to be 27 today. So we're walking. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's probably the right time. Really quiet. It's outside I think a school, maybe. Or is that a hospital for children?
As usual, I stop and take a picture. When I look up, Billy Whiz has buggered off. I have absolutely no idea where he is. He'll pop out from somewhere, God knows where. Every time this happens, I don't know. Oh my God! There you go. We don't see that sight very often. He's behind me. Just wondering what sort of tree that is. Oh, I've got an app. I can tell you what sort of tree. It looks like it's got pods. Not once is it not identified a plant, or in this case, a tree. So that's a foxglove tree. That was a foxglove tree.
What?
A foxglove. Stu's not going to get me through this this town very quick. And that was called a painted nettle, apparently. I always like to know the names because I'm a big fan of red plants in the garden.
And apparently that 15th century bell tower ahead that you can see has 62 bells in it. And it's one of the largest in Europe. They do guided tours, although I suspect that you may need to take your earplugs with you. As it's a Sunday, it is eerily quiet. We both want to know what he's taking.
What is that?
We really love this idea of a communal allotment. Green space, but also a place to be able to catch up with the neighbours.
It's started to get really hot. It's going to be a hot day, so I think we've done the right thing and got out early and done a walk. It's only 11:30. How the hell does he steer that? That's the longest one we've seen, isn't it?
Weird thing, he's pushing a barge in front. So
yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you'd think it'd go all over the place, so it must be really tied in tight.
We're really hot and tired and we want some lunch, so Stu has identified a possible countryside park up for the afternoon and hopefully maybe the night too.
Your destination is ahead on the left.
So I just found a really perfect tranquil spot. It was on part for night. It says that it's an air on the, but I don't think it is an air. But I think it's there's a lot of fishermen here. It's just a perfect picnic sort of area. I don't think it's suited for motorhomes because the approach lane is really narrow. I think you'd probably scratch your motorhome. So it's mainly camping cars down this way, or campervans. And we've just set up under the tree because it's really hot today. It's about 27 degrees and you can feel it's quite humid. But it's the first time we've actually had all three door openings open, and it's probably one of the advantages of Harry that we always saw, to allow the outside in and basically have all the doors open. So obviously got the kitchen door on the kitchen side open, and that also helps to cool the fridge down in hot weather as well, so that's really useful, to be honest. And then round the back we've obviously got the double barn doors open, and we're going to have the bed down in a bit so we could just lounge around, read a book, etc. So it just gets a bit of through draft. And then we got the normal door, but with the sun on this side. I've just tested this windsail, which seems to be quite well, which I've got on the sandbags, and it just allows a bit of privacy, keeps the shade because it's of the material we've got, keeps the sun off us, and again this just allows a bit of a through draft, so works really well. Really pleased with it.
And these cows would become a regular part of this location. And I think he knows something. But if ever I was to say I've got a luxury item, it would be my knife sharpener as head chopper of Harry. And it's obviously a place where the locals come to relax and chat for a few hours. My app says this is a plum cherry, was it?
I think that they need to go to like cherry size. I think it's immature.
Spit it out. We decide to go for a short stroll to the canal lock that's nearby, but we don't venture far because it's just getting too hot.
There's an Archimedes screw for pulling up the water.
And with it going quieter, Stu gets Tom the drone up, and as always it's a great way to spot what's in the area. The sun is now directly hitting Harry, so shade is really needed.
That's made a huge difference already.
I must admit it has,
Yeah, huge difference.
Tonight's a simple tea of salad, chicken and bulgur wheat. As once again we watch the cows go back and forth on the field opposite, and they really must cover some miles. Now, I'm not sure why, but we felt as though we should go and do something today, and it turns out not to be a wise decision.
Turn left now.
So we've come to Le Quesnoy, which is about 20 minutes away, and we're setting off on a circular walk around the town.
We're not doing a lot today. It's really warm.
Yeah.
It's only 11:30, and I think it's going to be 29 today.
I think, you know, when it's a bit like this, you know, there's only so much you can do with walking around without getting over hot. And I think the other thing is we just want to just stop for a few days. We're actually going to have a second. It was so lovely yesterday. We parked up.
Yeah, that's probably
quiet.
one of our nicest park-ups, especially in France, but it's probably one of our nicest park-ups.
Yeah, just so serene, the setting, quiet, just where we had the van. So we're going to go back there. We've had a nice walk around Quesnoy.
It's called Saint Ken.
No, it's not Saint. It's called Le Quesnoy.
Sorry,
Le Quesnoy.
Le Quesnoy.
Le Quesnoy.
Le Quesnoy.
Okay, it's one of those, or maybe none of those. But it was like there's a lot of history to this one. It's a fort here, lots of what they call bastions. So it's like an octagonal shape. It's a bit like the Citadel, I would say. So I think it's built in that sort of era. We've just had a walk round essentially the outside of it, and in what I presume was the moat.
Stu's just asked how many bricks there are. I think you'd be a longer time finding the answer out to that.
The walls are
it's
just
massive.
like massive.
Yeah.
You know, it must be, I don't know, 30 foot, 40 foot high,
maybe.
maybe even higher, to be perfectly honest. So that was quite impressive. We're parked up right in the centre, free parking again, fantastic. UK, take note. Encourages us to go in. We're going to go and spend some money. We're going to go do a little bit of shopping. I need a few provisions. We're parked next to the La Dame Echon, which is the lady and the dog. We can't find
any history of it, surprisingly.
We've just had a walk through the centre, because obviously there's the ways into it. There's several ways into the fort, effectively. I think in the First World War, the Germans occupied it for a while, because there's several New Zealand references for the New Zealand troops who took the town back from the Germans and liberated it, so I think that's sort of celebrated as well.
I'm having a slight issue with bonjour because I'd love to know what it sounds like to the French people, but when we see bonjour we just go bonjour, but then you hear a French person say it and they say bonjour, so you start saying bonjour, but then I'm starting to see variations of bonjour now. Some say bonjour, some I saw a lady today that the emphasis was on the end of the word, so I'm now starting to think, you know, do they have different variations in their accents like we do, like saying hello to Liverpool? So you know, hearing someone say hello from Liverpool to hearing someone say in London is two different ways, isn't it? So I'm now thinking, am I taking the mickey by trying to say what they're saying? Like, am I trying to say it in a Cockney accent? Like, am I saying hello? It's sort of starting to screw my head up how I'm saying bonjour now. Like, I want to sound like I know what I'm saying.
And after a whistle-stop trip to Aldi, we're off again. We're loving this location as it's so peaceful. Lunch is a repeat of yesterday, except today Stu has put some prosciutto ham in.
We need shade today, so my handmade awning goes back out and is quick to deploy using the C-channel webbing that I sewed in. These small bags filled with sand I used if we just want to have the shade dropping down in front of the door. I found these quick release guy ropes useful, as I can also put a hard stake fixing, which is what I'm going to do today, providing shade at an angle to the door. Hopefully this will channel any breeze that comes along.
They're back again, staring at us. And we have a walk before tea down the canal towpath in the late afternoon sun. And we both think this property is a great doer-upper, with a brilliant location right next to the loch, and we guess that it's owned by the water authorities. Tom. I always love it when you come back, Tom. I won't lie. And a local that was passing on his bike drew our attention to a hornet's nest that he saw yesterday in a tree at the back of Harry. Now, we've heard in the news recently about an invasive species hitting Europe, so we wondered if this was the one. And we didn't move, as to be fair, they weren't bothering us.
We're pretty sure it's going to be stuffy in the van tonight, so we decided to try out the fan grid I made. Hopefully it will give us a bit of increased air circulation. I quickly fit them in, and with the window jammed by this wooden bar, coupled with the side door being locked, we were quite happy from a security aspect.
And in the early hours, there was a bang on the van that woke us. And our initial thoughts went back to the island incident and that somebody was outside.
Oh, there's another... Oh. The lights on.
But we soon realised it was something more natural.
That's it. You're right here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's one with the horns, I've got to be careful of.
Unfortunately, the cows that I could see were getting stung by the hornets that have now been disturbed.
Crikey. Oh, so slow.
And we didn't want to put the outside light on, as that may have spooked the cows and also attracted the hornets.
If you scare him, he'll turn, you see.
No, don't scare him. He obviously can't see us.
Hey, hey!
That worked. The thing is, you might... Oh, he's heard you.
I've got hornets outside.
They're under attack.
I don't open the door now because I've got hornets here.
Okay, don't open the door, he's moving on. Oh, he knows you're there. He can hear the hornets.
He's knocking the tree. He's got the hornets going.
Oh, hello. There's another one coming. Oh, he's looking right in. Stu, I don't think that's helping.
Morning arrives and the cows have moved on down to the far end around another van. Well, it looks like the cows were licking the windows. So that's going to need a wash, and fortunately Harry has no dents.
The fans worked out really well and were on all night, and we both felt a cooling waft of air. It just used half the battery pack, so we'll keep testing, but it's encouraging so far.
Well, we're going to wrap this episode up here, and it's a big thumbs up to rural France.